I want you to close your eyes. Go ahead, close them. And now think of a moment in your life that is either deep rooted into you or just a memory that you feel is very important to who you are. For example, it could be the moment where you got your first pet. It can be the moment when you got your first gaming console as a kid. Or for those of you fortunate out there, the first time you met the love of your life. Okay, now open your eyes. And what I want you to do now is think of what led up to that moment. It could have been the fact that you just happened to need to use the restroom leading into the dog store and you got your first dog. The reason you met the love of your life is because your friend showed you another friend and she was hanging out with that person, or he. And maybe for your gaming console, your mom just happened to walk in to Game Crazy at the very last minute and got you that last N64 on the display. These are incredible moments in our lives that are far more complex than we perceive them to be, yet this also shows us the surrounding nature of events that are caused by a cascade of moments, one leading into another, over and over. I remember time slowing down in the moment of utter quiet before the other car slammed into us, crushing the side of our car. If the other car had veered another 2 inches into our lane, it would have caught our front bumper instead of the side and pushed us right over the cliff. Existential threats like this tend to stay with you. 2 more inches? No Pixar. This is an event that happened in 1957 by one of Pixar's co-founders and presidents, Ed Catmull, taken from his book Creativity Inc., which I highly recommend you guys read if you are a creative or work in a creative field, but more on that later. 2 more inches in his life and he wouldn't be here. Pixar wouldn't be here. He would not have led the 3D animation field as much as he did if 2 inches made the difference. The thing is, his life has affected so many others, including ours, the viewers on my video here, that it would have been crazy to think about. Like, it's crazy to think Jurassic Park wouldn't have been achieved if Pixar did not have the rendering and the 3D animation to make that movie possible. Star Wars, who knows how that would have been. And then Disney, well, maybe we would still be in a 2D era up until a certain point when someone might have finally pushed 3D animation much further, because at the time that was being repressed a lot. And this is something that I think about how many decisions that I made led me to here where I am. And if I had chosen different, would my life be better or worse? Well, I don't know. I suppose none of us really know because there isn't a button we can click to see our alternate lives. But sometimes a reflection is all that I need to keep myself grounded and thankful for where I currently am. Like, would I be here if it wasn't for meeting one of my best friends in college and she told me about a YouTuber she was watching that needed a video editor? And I never would have chosen the college I went to if I didn't pick up YouTubing as a hobby that eventually I wanted to lead into a career. And I don't know if I ever would have thought of going to art school if I wasn't so upset and bored doing computer science at my first college. And it's crazy to me because I know it's not good to reflect on what was, because what has happened has already happened. What we need to look forward to is how things are right now in our future, but we can learn a lot from history. That's why we have history courses. That's why we learn about the past, because the past sometimes tends to repeat in the future. All I know is that someone else's 2-inch moment would have affected my life in a way that I wouldn't even be aware of, and that is mind-boggling to think that a kid in the 50s could have died in a car accident and I never would have known about him. He never would have grown up wanting to do 3D animation and leading a company as influential as Pixar into existence. That is wild. Now, something I want to pass on to you guys, and it doesn't have to be a life or death situation the way mine isn't, but what is your 2-inch moment? Has there been a moment in your life where one decision just drastically changed everything? And whether that be a good thing or unfortunately a bad thing, taking the time to reflect on it, to really be grateful to where you are, or at least where you want to be heading towards. That is something you should do with this thought, which is, what is something that I can change today, something very minute, that after a cascade of events happening after I make that decision can lead me to a better place? Now, to be fair, no one knows. No one ever really knows. Like, no one knows what would happen or what could happen, but I think it's a good thing to really reflect on that and just learn from it and hopefully become a better person. But alright, thank you guys for watching the video. Stay safe, stay clean, make good decisions, and I'll see you guys in the next one.